Hey, what's going on, everybody? Showing up the King here. And you know it's Sunday night, so it's time for my True Blood review for season 5, episode 9. Let's get into it. All right, so this season is definitely heating up, and I'm talking about hot. So, literally, there's only 3 episodes left. I hate saying that, but all good things come to an end. I started off this season at a low, and I've ended up coming to a high and I don't want to come down. So keep pumping me full of that True Blood PCP. So anyway, let's jump into this review. All right, so this episode actually focused more on two of the lesser stories of this season, which is actually a good thing, and I'm gonna tell you why. Last season, what ended up happening is that towards the end of the episode, towards the end of the final 2 episodes, we had like 4 or 5 different storylines running together at the exact same time. And by the end of the episode, I felt cheated that the bigger overarching story had to be wrapped up so quickly because you had to tell a different saga for every other story. But it looks like the guys over at the HBO and True Blood have definitely learned from their mistakes, and they're actually wrapping up these lesser storylines early so that towards the end of the season they can focus more on the Authority, which is fantastic because that storyline is ridiculous. So this episode we actually got to wrap up 2 storylines: the Andy Belfler and Ifrit storyline. Bottom line is that like we heard from last episode, the old woman who was murdered, she said that one of them had to die in order for them to break the curse, blood for blood. So what ends up happening is that Terry's friend or commanding officer, he runs out like a little coward and then ends up kidnapping Terry's girlfriend or wife and bringing her to Sam's bar as a hostage to try to lure Terry there so that he can kill him. So that's exactly what ends up happening. They're in the bar, they're talking, and he literally tells Terry to get on his knees so he can shoot him like execute him, like a coward would. And what ends up happening is lucky Terry's girlfriend is there, so she actually stabs him in the back of the neck, just long enough time for Terry to get in and to distract him. A battle ensues, and they get the upper hand, and they have him on his knees. And again, there's like a kind of like a what I want to call it a Beekman moment, I'll say, where literally he has a choice, just like he did before. We have Arlene in the background telling him to shoot him. Then we have him on his knees, his friend on his knees, talking about, oh, I have a wife, I have a kid on the way, and da 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 da. You have another choice to make, blah blah blah. You need to make the right one. And Terry's very conflicted at this point. He doesn't know what to do. You got people yelling and screaming. But then what ends up happening is that the old woman appears, and both Arlene and Terry can see him. And what that clearly tells him, she was like, make the choice. And he knew what he had to do. He pulled that trigger twice, put 2 bullets in that guy, and it was done. So when Freak came out, got his soul, and Bob's your uncle, that storyline was wrapped up tight. Now, again, like I said, by the end of the season, storyline was fine. I still could have done without that story, but you know what? If to get to see Terry and Arlene in the show and have them for something to do, I'm completely okay with that. The other major storyline that was going on is actually something I was talking about last week, and I predicted that Sheriff Dearborn indeed was a part of the Obama gang, but he wasn't technically the dragon. His overweight, plump girlfriend was, and who, by the way, when she was running away towards the end of that episode, she was pretty fast for a big girl. I got to give her credit for that. So, the storyline with that ends up being Hoyt did get kidnapped by the Obama gang because they found out that he helped Jessica escape. They basically drugged him and put him in the pig pen. And Sookie, on the other end, still trying to figure out who her mother is, actually got a clue that Sheriff Dearborn was there the night of her parents dying. And even he told her himself that, the vampire is probably the one who killed their parents. So again, it's not nothing we didn't already know because we saw the flashback and we know it was a vampire. We just still didn't get much more information on who this actual vampire is. Now, with only 3 episodes left, I seriously doubt we'll find out his identity. What more than likely what will end up happening is probably right towards that last episode. We'll probably find out who he is. He'll show up or something, and it'll probably be that like last little rah right before the season ends. So that's probably what my guessing is going to be on that. It was actually kind of funny because Lafayette ended up coming over to the house. And, I love his character so much. Lafayette is a trip. Like him just trying to be as pretty as he can be. He's walking around Sookie's bathroom talking all types of nonsense. Like, look, I'm not Whoopi Goldberg, but I look better than her. And, he's just talking to spirits left and right. Love Lafayette's character. He is the man, or the woman, however you want to say it. I don't know. So, that whole storyline with Sookie was that. Essentially, Sookie goes, she sees Dearborn. And again, I knew because that whole episode, they were dropping Dearborn's name left and right. Like, I listened for it. Like, they dropped his last name like 6 or 7 times. So I'm just like, of course, this dude is the dragon, or he is associated with the dragon. And again, I was right. He was associated with the dragon. He tried to feed Sookie the first time ginger ale with some Oxycontin in it to put her out. And basically, their grand plan was to feed them to live pigs. I'm like, scary way to die, but not exactly creative when you actually stack it up. So, of course, Andy and Jason, they actually figure it out on their own. So, Andy is not the most useless sheriff in all of the planet. So, what's a good thing? You're not useless. So, what you call it? They all gather together and they run out to try to find what's going on. And Sam and his girlfriend, they actually were flies on the wall, and they ended up finding out what's going on as well. So they booked it over there. They got there first, and just as they let the pigs in, he was able to transform, and we got some naked kung fu Sam action going on, which I thought was hilarious because this guy's like throwing roundhouse kicks and just like blocking and throwing Obamas everywhere. It was like watching a naked Chuck Norris. It was beautiful and scary at the same time. So that whole thing gets wrapped up, and Dearborn ends up dying. He grabs a shovel and is going at Sam, and he's just like, "America!" No, he didn't say America. He didn't say America. He said some stupid battle cry, and Andy Belfort shot him in the chest, and he died. Sam's girlfriend ended up chasing down the dragon. Like I said, she was a pretty good runner for a big girl. Bashed her head in with her fists, and that whole storyline wrapped up in the bow. Let's get her done. So again, that whole storyline is wrapped up. I'm appreciative of it because now all that's left really is the whole fairy thing with Sookie, maybe the whole Lafayette story with the Mexican demon thing, and that for the most part has been wrapped up. He has a demon inside of him, and he can see spirits. So unless that comes to help towards the end, we'll see. So the last part of this episode has something all to do with the authority. And we love us some authority. So the authority situation is going down. Eric is in DEFCON 5. He's trying to get the hell up out of Dodge, but he can't. So he uses the little friend that originally connected them with the stake machines to help get them out of Dodge. Now, this is the problem. Bill, oh my God, Bill is sure that Lilith is real at this point. Like, he believes it. He knows it is fact. Eric is like, I'm not buying this. Something don't smell right. And again, he has all the reason in the world to feel that way. Because like I said, there was something his sister said when they were talking in the room with the blood. She said that Salome brought her down there before to drink the blood. So this is not the first time they drank that blood. So it's already been coursing through her veins. So I don't know what the hell is in that blood. Like, I don't know if it's Lilith's, or maybe it is, or maybe it's some sort of drugged blood. We don't know. All we know is that she's been groomed from the start to be this whole Lilith vessel thing. So this thing's been planned from the beginning. But the problem is that Bill did not know this. So Bill is in a room having passionate, like, vampire sex with Salome, and he's like biting into her, but then he's starting to see the hallucinations and is starting to see Salome as Lilith, which is a problem because now after he originally was going to escape, now he's like, holy shit, I'm seeing Lilith again. Now I'm really believing this. So of course now he believes that he turns his back on Eric and allows Eric to get caught when he's trying to leave. So I was just like, God damn it, Bill, what is with you, man? It's a problem, people. So again, that whole storyline with the authorities is going to have to be wrapped up soon. And the only other thing of notice to talk about is the poor wolf child. Don't trust a vampire if you're a werewolf. I've told you guys 1,000 times. So the new pack master thought he had a sweet deal. He's Russell Edgington's little pet. You know, Russell Edgington shows up with his little boy toy, and you know they have this little conversation about not owning pets. And as soon as he said that, I was just like, oh my god, something's not going to end right here. I can just tell. And of course, you know, my spidey sense was tingling for a reason. So what ends up happening there is that the poor little girl gets taken by Russell Edgington. And finally, the pack master tries to get some balls and is like, look, you can't take her. She's a part of the pack. To which Russell replies with grabbing the guy by his throat and literally almost ripping his throat out by saying that you thought my blood didn't come with a price. Literally just tossed him to the ground like he was nothing. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Sam and his girlfriend reacts when they find out that her daughter is gone. The plot thickens. But again, it's time for you guys to tell me what you thought about the episode. Are you as pumped and sad at the same time that this True Blood season is going to be ending in 3 more episodes? Definitely give me your thoughts on what's going on. Comment in the section below. If you do enjoy the video, thumbs it up. You know, it definitely helps me. So if you guys did enjoy my video, definitely thumbs up and definitely subscribe if you guys want to check out my other videos. Check out my channel. This is Sean the King, and you guys, as always, have an awesome night.